the last video, we learned what Python is, its features, and how to write our first Python program. In today's session, we will go ahead and talk about variables, data types, and input-output functions. So let's go ahead. So what are variables? In any program, we often need to store data like numbers, name, or some result. For that, we use variables. Think of a variable like a container or a box where we can store a value and we can use it later. Okay. So example. So we create a file. Okay. So here this is a variable example. Here x is variable, name is variable. These are containers x name. So here the data is stored. In x what is stored? 10 is stored. In name the place is stored. So if you run this, then it will not print x directly. It will not print name directly. It will print the value of x and the value of name. Here the given values are 10 and Dipesh. You can check here 10 and Dipesh. Okay. So if we print directly, then it will not print variable name. It will print the value which is stored inside the variable. So these are variables. There for doing any kind of work, there is some kind of rules set for it. So for variables, creating variables, there are multiple rules, but some are necessary, which we will see here. So variable cannot be started with any kind of number, and it should be started with some kind of letter, means a b c d or some kind of underscore. It cannot be started with numbers. This is basic, and it can only contain letters, numbers, and underscore. And as Python is case sensitive, so the variable name, if you are using name, then you cannot use small n in further program if you are creating a name function. Okay, let's see the example. Let's check this code on check this in code only, that I create print name. Now I created a variable name. Here capital N is here. So if I print this after saving it, it is showing error already. Underscore is here, yellow line is looking already now. That yellow line is showing that I'm doing mistake, that there is no variable name in which n is small letter, and here our original variable is what, capital N name. So if you run this program, it will showing error. Look here, this error is showing that there is no variable name like name. This. So if we want to correct, we just need to put it like this. So variable name, it is case sensitive. In Python everything is case sensitive, so remember that you have to use same case sensitive variables. You cannot use different something. And variable cannot start with some kind of 3 4 5. It can come after here, or in between somewhere, but it cannot in the starting. It cannot come, no numbers can come. It will still showing error. It is already showing that in this line we are doing error, that red color, that 845 is not possible to create a variable. Similarly, when we are creating any kind of variable, we can only use number or name or this underscore only. Except that, like if you are doing dollar, then it is showing that it is showing error, like dollar is a sign, it cannot be used as a variable. Okay, so these are three basic rules for creating any kind of variable. So here example, my var count is, which are invalid, that is one name or total sum. These are means invalid. Okay, so now let's come to data types. What are data types? In Python, every value has a data type. It tells Python what kind of data it is dealing with. The main basic types are integer, float, string, boolean, and list tuple dictionary. So let's check what are these. Integer. Integer are our normal numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, or counting numbers, you can say. You can say means all the whole numbers that are integer numbers. And float are numbers which are decimal numbers, you can say. Here string, you can naming words or some text that like our names or any kind of word that you are writing. You cannot write hello inside the integer or true false in integer float. So each value is defined on its own data type. So there are so many data types: integer, float, string, boolean, list, tuple. These are basics one. So let's check example on this. So let's see example of data types. So here I already created some data types and assigned the values in its variables. So here we created variables A, B, C, D and assigned some values 10, 3.5, hello or true. Okay, so if you print the what are the data type of A, so here we can check it. This type of A, type of B, or type of any kind of variable, it will tell what type of data type is stored inside that variable. So here 10 is stored inside 11 is stored inside A. So it is an integer type. It is a float type. It is a string type. These values should be coming if you run this. Okay. So let's save first. Now print. So here it is showing class integer, class float, class string, class boolean. Okay, so it is showing that these variables are having these kind of data type stored. So from this you can know what kind of data type is stored inside what variable. So these are data types. This helps us understand what kind of value is stored in a variable. Now next we will going to check user input. Whenever we are writing some kind of program, till now we have been typing value directly in our code, but what if we want to take input from user? For that we use the input function. So for that we use input and output function. So let's take an example of input. Here I created a variable name, and in this I am going to take an input from user that enter your name. Here name will be taken. Okay, so let's save it and run it. So here it is showing enter your name, that we are telling the user tell me your name. Now I'm telling the name that my name is Dipesh. So if you run this, enter it, then it is showing the output hello Dipesh. Here what we are printing hello message, and we are calling the variable name here for printing. So we are putting the value of name as Dipesh and it will print hello Dipesh like this. Now let's move further. Here we are taking input as well as we are giving output of that input value we have taken. So input output is here like this. So we have taken example like that. You can take your example and create by yourself. You can practice it like this. So now we have checked what are data types, what are variables. Now if we want to change the type of value which are stored in variable, we can change it. Let's understand this by example. Okay, so here x is 10. Now we don't know x is integer, x is what, x y z we don't know, but we know x is having 10 value. We didn't define anything here that x is float, integer or some kind of, we didn't define. X is taking as input 10. Now y is another variable inside which we are defining that whatever the value of x is there, it will come outside in form of integer value int. Okay, So now if you print the value of y plus 5, means whatever the value of y plus 5 will be in integer form. Okay, here it is coming 15. So like this wise we can change the data type of this, or we can see another uh, change, like we define age is input. Here we are calling the user enter your age. Whatever the age is, it will enter by user. Now we will output the whatever the age is print. Now we're printing age of it. Now age will be taken from the user input. Like I told you, it is defined by user, not by us. User input only. Right now, what kind of value it will be taken? It should be a string only, because we didn't define age can be a variable or something. We didn't define. We can write 5 like this also and 5 like this also. So we don't know in what value type it will describe. So we will know in which value it will take output. Here age is what, like here is I put 22. Then here class is telling string. It is not integer, it is not float, it is string, because we didn't define it. But now I want that whatever the value is giving, it should be integer. It cannot be here integer. Integer only value can only be put it. We don't want any other kind of data type one. We want only integer data type. Okay, so we can just put it like this. So whatever the value will come, it will come only in integer type. So let's save it and run. Now 22 here. If you put 22 now and enter it, now it is showing integer class, integer data type. Why? Because here I have already defined that I am whatever the value you are entering, I want it in integer form. Now let's move further. We are seeing type conversion. What is summary? What we have learned in this? We have learned variable are containers for storing data, and data type define the kind of data stored, and input takes user input, and print function displays output, and use of int float string for type conversion. Okay, so these are things we have learned. Now we will do some practice question. Okay, based on these two things which we have learned today, we'll do some practice. This is a program to sum of two numbers. Number here we define number one and number two, and we are taking input from user, input one and input two. But now we want output of it, whatever the sum is. So we can directly add the numbers, or we can define new variable. We can define like sum equal to num1 plus num2, or and then print of sum, print sum. Like this we can print it. It will show the same result. Now it is showing 30. Or we can use another way, that is we just remove it. We don't need the print new variable. We can directly add num1 plus num2, because our Python is simple. Here directly we can print the sum of these two numbers. So let's check it. If we run it, 25, 6, it is already showing 31. Okay, so like this we can print the values, average of numbers. Here we are taking three numbers a, b, c. These a, b, c are variables, and the variable which we are taking value data type is float. The value which are inputting is float data type. So three numbers are there, and we have, for getting the average of these, we should know the formula of average. What is average? Average means the sum of all numbers divided by the number of quantity. Okay, so here there are three numbers divided by 3, add of three numbers. So let's run this. Let our first number is 11, second number is 20, third number is 9. So our average is of 30, 11, 20, 20 and 9 is 30, 13.33. This is our average. So like this we can find the average program. Sample conversion of temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit, or we can change it from another temperature also. We just need to change the formula here. Here we are getting a variable named Celsius, in which we are taking data type float as an input, because temperature can be of 23.4 or something in decimal format also. So whenever there is need of decimal format something, we use Celsius float data type. Now when we are printing here, here you can see Celsius is taken from here. Variable I am taking Celsius as here, and degree Celsius, it is a symbol of degree Celsius and is equal to Fahrenheit dot 2F. What is the meaning of dot 2F? Dot 2F means whenever the outcome will come, the result will be in decimals. As you know, float will give results in decimals. So up to how much long, because mathematics is so long, computer can do so much mathematics, so we cannot wait and count for 0.12345 6 something. So 0.25 will define that data type. Whatever the result will be, it will be only up to two decimals. After decimal there will be only two values will be, after up to 20 will be result. So if we run this, okay, here so you can check. Let's our temperature is 25. So here it will show 25 degrees Celsius is equal to 77 degree Fahrenheit. Because of why this result is coming, this is not some kind of calculation it is doing. It is just the formula. It is telling the results based on our given formula. If you change the formula here wrong, wrong formula, then it will show a wrong temperature. So you should always remember, even if you are doing correct coding but you are doing wrong formula for this solving problem, still your answer will be wrong, because you should remember the formula for it. So this is our today's class. In next class we will see more about Python. So for today it is enough, and do more practice on these simple programs. Create it by make it by yourself and try it. Thank you.